Questions to ask at the end of the interview. You're at the end of your interview, and the employer asks you, "Do you have any questions for us?" Of course I do, potential employer. Let's walk through them. Stick around for this entire video because you won't have to go anywhere else after you hear all of these questions. Before we get into these questions that you can ask at the end of an interview, let's talk about what not to say. Please do not say, "I don't have any questions. I'm good. I learned everything I needed to. I have nothing else to ask." This will signal to the employer that maybe you haven't done as much research and you're not as inquisitive. You're not really thinking through all of the details. You have to really think through which question you really want to ask, but please don't say, "I have no questions." A great question to ask to assess the growth potential of this opportunity is, where do you see this role progressing in the next 1, 2 to 3 years? I would love to hear more about that. And I would love to understand how I would be able to contribute to the growth of the team. Now, when you ask this question, this is going to impress the employer because one, they're going to realize you are highly motivated. You want to know how you can exceed in this role, not just short term within your first year, but you want to continue succeeding for the next 3 years at minimum. They will be impressed when you ask this question. How does this role progress in the next 3 years? And how can I be successful in progressing? As a recruiter myself and former hiring director, when this question is asked, it's really showing me and the hiring company that you have thought through and thinking through long term with us, with the hiring company. And that is really, really attractive to the employer. I'm Rita Baroody, Career Success Coach. Please subscribe below. I will be sharing a lot of helpful tips regarding interviews, career, and success. Please subscribe and we can reach more people. Another way you can ask this question is, what are the expectations in year 2 and 3? This is going to help the employer explain more of where they see you in year 2 and 3 and not just year 1. And again, they are going to hear you thinking through long-term growth with them. And they always want to hear that you're going to stay. Retention is important to every company. They lose money if you leave in a short period of time. So you showing that you would like to stay in the organization and really want to know what year 2 and year 3 brings is really attractive to the employer. And let's also not forget, you're asking these questions so you can gather more information that if an offer is extended to you, you are making a great decision. You have a lot of information now regarding this role, regarding the projection of this company, and where they see you in the organization. Now, for the next question to ask at the end of the interview, I want you to do some homework. I want you to look at recent news that's come out about the company. Recent meaning within the past 3 to 6 months, not last year or 5 years ago, definitely within a 6-month period. Leverage that new recent news and ask a follow-up question. I saw that your company has been growing in this location or has added this product or has hired a recent executive level team member. Then ask, how has that impacted the growth of your company? And how has that impacted the specific team that I could potentially be working with? Why ask this question? This will again help you stand out. It will make the employer aware that you've done research, you're interested, you want to know how certain items that have happened are impacting their organization. That's very impressive. You've taken more time to look through some details and ask a follow-up question. You are super thoughtful, you're highly motivated, and you're thinking through how certain items can impact an organization. You're strategic. Everyone wants that strategic, great hire that is thinking through what is happening in their company and also in the world. Also, quickly, keep in mind, the interviewer does not want to hear a question that was already answered in the interview process. You really want to ask a question that was not addressed or a question that will go into more depth. Add this next question also to your list to ask at the end of the interview. Regarding my background and my experience, is there anything, any specific items that I can clarify on to give you more clarity on anything that I might not have went into depth? Now, you want to ask this clarification question because you have a limited amount of time in the interview process. There are a limited amount of questions the employer can ask. There's also a limited amount of questions you can ask. Asking this is a super great way to just leave things open and give an opportunity for the employer to ensure that they received all of the information they needed to make a great decision to move forward. It gives the employer that opportunity. So if there's any hesitation, if there's anything that is just a gray area that they're not sure about, it will allow them to hopefully mention that when you ask this question. Now, I want you to think through one specific question on your own where you are going to leverage the information that you received during the interview process. And you're going to ask a follow-up question to the information you received. So you're gathering information during the interview. You may have taken down a couple of notes. Now you want to mention, I recall you mentioned XYZ. Can you provide just a little bit more clarification on XYZ? This is what my understanding is. Can you tell me if it's accurate? This will capture the employer's attention because now you are reiterating what the employer is mentioning to you. They now know you're a great, great listener, and it'll give them the opportunity to give you more in-depth information. Now, this next question is special. It's unique. If you have the confidence to ask it, please do so. It will also impress the employer. This next question. If I were to raise my hand for additional responsibilities, which specific items would I be able to help with and help the team accomplish? 99% of professionals, candidates are not asking this question. So if you come in and you are that unique professional that has the great skill set they are looking for, and you're willing to help with additional items, an employer 99% of the time will value a professional that goes above and beyond. Ask this question and you will now be viewed as that great team player who's highly motivated to add value to their team. Thanks for watching till the end. If you would like a step-by-step guide to help you through the whole interview process and potentially additional support from myself, click the link in the description. I have an on-demand course, and also I have an offering that allows you to be with me one-on-one throughout your whole job search process. When you're asking about growth, you're asking about clarification and expectations, and then you also ask a very detailed question regarding the information you already gathered, that is when the employer will move forward.